I want to welcome you back to the Weekly Grind. I'm Larry Macon Jr. And again, I'm sitting with Jim Surace. Jim has always given us some great wisdom and some weekly knowledge for us. But there are many people that are dealing with adversity right now, Jim. And I wanted to ask you, what is your perspective on this adversity that people are dealing with right now?
Well, first, Larry, I got to say that adversity is literally part of our lives. I don't think anyone escapes adverse times.
So
And
true.
again, I'm going to take a little different perspective on it. When I look back at my life and the adverse situations that I've been in, I actually discovered that I learned more in those situations, in the valley, so to speak, more than I ever have on top of the mountain. Now, I, like most people, don't like being there when I'm there, but when I do look back, the things that I've learned, I wouldn't change a thing. I feel that adversity was not meant to push you down as much as it was meant to elevate you. I
Mm.
often, when I counsel my people, I talk about, when you're in the valley, what most people are doing is they're looking at the top of the mountain, wishing that they were back there. And I often tell them that, there's treasure buried in the valley, but you have to be looking for the treasure. Sometimes there's something you need. There's something you need to learn in order to elevate yourself to the higher level that you desire to be at. And if you don't find what it is that you need to learn, that piece of knowledge, that bit of character, whatever it might be, even though maybe at some time you might be able to obtain that higher level, you wouldn't be able to maintain it. They do studies and analysis sometimes on lottery winners. When people win the lottery, they
Yeah.
think like everything's changed. Life is good now. But they've done studies 5 years later of these same people, and they find that their condition is worse at that time than even before they won the lottery.
Wow.
And I've not ever played one of those video games with the different levels and everything, but I have watched my grandchildren play. And what I've noticed is that there's different levels in a video game, and you have to, you start at level 1. In order to gain level 2, you need to do something. There's a monster you got to kill, or there's a coin that you got to get. There's something you have to do, and if you don't grab that in level 1, you can't make it to level 2. So I
Wow.
find that, life is a lot like that. If in those moments of adversity that we don't garner what it is that life wants to teach us, that we won't be able to get to level 2. It gives you something that you don't got, so you can be elevated. And it's not so much what happens to us, it's literally how we embrace it. And so then how we could move through it. I always call it kind of a university of adversity. It's a teacher, not a foe. And what you can learn can help you impact so many others. Between me and you, Larry,
Mhm.
if I'm going to be on a boat in a storm,
Mhm.
I want to be with a captain that's been through a few storms before, right?
That is so true.
And you know, we can't ever fall prey to blame or excuses at that time, because then that becomes a solution to the problem. Once we take an excuse, which is ready there to take, what happens is that it becomes the end of that situation, and it stops our mind from coming up with other solutions to that particular situation, so that when we find ourselves in the same situation, we've gotten no better. We have no solution because we've
Yeah.
taken that excuse. Excuse becomes a solution. To me, rather than professing why something didn't happen, is to think instead how it could have happened.
Wow. That's good. I really like that. I think it's very important that right now we don't use the excuses, that we don't allow that to encompass our lives right now. And I think you're right. Adversity is something that we need. There's levels that we have to go through to get to where we're supposed to be. So I appreciate that wisdom. And I hope all of our viewers understand that you can make it through adversity. And sometimes these adversities are a part of life, but they're not to make you bitter, they're to make you better. I want to thank you, Jim, again for your knowledge and your insight. We're looking forward to next week, next Monday. Again, every Monday you can tune in and watch the Weekly Grind, or you can watch us on YouTube. We're posted on the WKYC Facebook. And so again, we're so happy to receive this knowledge, Jim. So looking forward to the message for next week.